Coming up next, focus on medical education, part of this month's featured series on ReachMD XM 157.
How can we as medical professionals inspire the next generation of scientists and medical professionals? Welcome to the Clinicians Roundtable. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Kaskel. Joining me today is Dr. Bhaumik, a world-renowned physicist and co-inventor of the laser technology that made Lasik surgery possible. Dr. Bhaumik is the author of the critically acclaimed Codename God, a bestseller in the United States as well as in India. And Dr. Bhaumik is the recipient of the prestigious Mahatma Gandhi Humanitarian Award for his contributions to science and humanity, and he is now the creator and executive producer of a new animated series geared towards inspiring children's interest in science. Dr. Bhaumik, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, what took you so long, Dr. Bhaumik? What took you so long to start worrying about the kids?
I've been working at this cartoon animation project for about 10 or 12 years, actually. And my initial approach to the powers to be in Hollywood was that this is too risky, that kids don't want to learn through TV. My thought was that kids have the most malleable and receptive mind, and all these wonderful ideas coming from the modern science, especially the latest discoveries that are telling us something about ourselves, should be planted in the young mind and let the seed grow as they grow up. And I thought that television is a good medium probably because they watch television. Kids watch television before going to school when the breakfast is being made, and when they come back, same thing. After that, when their dinner is being prepared, they would watch television. So when I looked at the kids program, it's just full of mindless violence. There's more to life than that.
What's the name of the show you're working on?
It's called Cosmic Quantum Ray, and it's being aired in Dish Network Animania channel, which is a 24/7 HD TV, the surround sound and all that. It's right now in satellite, like your program. As you know, there are two competing satellite channels, Dish Network and DirecTV, and Dish Network is airing it for us. And we're working on getting it into the cable and other platforms. But my thought was that if we could somehow get the kids to see the science, they may not understand the whole thing, but at least if we can plant the seed of science that everything is coming from one single source, and that has been established to such confidence that Nobel Prizes are given on that subject. 2 years ago, it was given for contribution to towards the theory of everything, which has the audacious goal of showing that indeed, even though everything looks so different, they all come from one single source.
Manny, but in your life, you know that you really became hungry and thirsty for knowledge to get you out of a situation of desperation. And today's children are not desperate. They're drowning in affluence, and there's nothing there that they really need.
But to them, more is not enough. But the resistance I met in Hollywood is that their theory is that kids just don't want to learn from TV. If you try to teach them through TV, they'll just flip the channel, and it'll be wastage of effort.
Although, Sesame Street's been very popular, and Barney has been very popular, and those teach kids.
Kind of preschool, and we're trying to, the kind of information they want to get into is 7+.
Okay, so you're going for an older demographic.
Yeah, because my goal is to bring the same message that I have in the book to the kids in their language. Basically, that we all come from one source. It doesn't matter whether you're Hindu or Muslim or Jewish or Christian. We all come from the same stardust and the same universe. We're all part of each other. We're cosmic kins. And thus the kind of knowledge in a subtle way to get it to them so that it stays in their mind, so that when they grow up, these awful things that are happening in the world in the name of these
religions,
so to speak, that is mindless. And so the preschool children may not really get to that, so we're geared to 7+, 6+ or 7+. And I think it's been really successful. Using an old vehicle of cartoon has been around for 50 years to inject this thing. What we have finally done is that first get them entertained with action, adventure, humor, goofiness, and then
get them hooked, then teach them.
Yes. So subtly, so that they don't think they're being taught. And because it is true that they have enough at school, and then they have the computer games and this and that, and they just don't have time to really learn through TV. To them, TV is a kind of an entertainment box. And so when you try to teach them through TV, they just switch it off. It's true. So I think we have been able to do the intended effect of getting them entertained first, edutainment, so to speak, entertain them first and have a theme from the beginning and arc it through the episode, and at the end give a sort of a bullet of what actually happened.
If you've just joined us, you're listening to the Clinicians Roundtable on ReachMD XM 157, the channel for medical professionals. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Kaskel. My guest today is Dr. Manny Bhaumik. Dr. Bhaumik is a world-renowned physicist and co-inventor of the laser technology that later made Lasik surgery possible. He's also author of the critically acclaimed book, Codename God, and is now recently the creator and executive producer of a new animated series that tries to inspire our children to be interested in science. Dr. Bhaumik, is there a character, Manny the Mad Scientist, in the show?
No, the mad scientist would be a villain, and I don't like to be the villain. Actually, again, it was a learning process. The kids these days do not like perfect superheroes. So our superhero is a kind of a goofy superhero, and when he goofs up, then a school kid, Robbie Shipton, who students can identify, comes to his rescue, and so he's the real hero. Robbie Shipton, the school kid, is the real hero, although Cosmic Quantum Ray is supposed to be the hero of the show. And there's a mad scientist, his name is Dr. Brainhead, but he's mama's boy, and he's kind of not like a typical mad scientist to think of crazy one, but he's very low-key, but yet comes up with inventions which is geared for altering the natural laws of the universe. And so that's the thing that we are trying to teach the kids, that cities' laws are kept by the policemen, the country's law by the military, but who keeps the universe's natural laws? And here, this mad scientist, Dr. Evil Brainhead, is the one who devised a scheme, along with his other cohorts, breaking the natural law for their profit. And here comes Team Quantum, who are the good guys, to foil their misdeed and bring natural law back to normal. And through this, we're trying to teach the kids, make them aware what could happen if the natural laws were violated. And that way, they would know what natural laws are good for.
Did you look at some of the shows that are on kids' channels now as kind of a guideline?
The storyline that we came up with is, of course, is original and is geared to, as I mentioned to you, the good guys are trying to foil the misdeeds of the bad guys who are trying to break the natural laws for their own good.
How do you try to infuse the show with lessons of spirituality without offending parents and or getting too religious? How do you walk that fine line?
Yeah, a very good question. Yes, we have thought about that we really do not want to inject anything that could be offensive in that respect. Like evolution is a big subject, as you know, right now. But we do indicate, for example, if there are 10 to the 21 planets, does it make sense that life would be possible only in one planet? So in a questioned way, we're not taking any position. But what I'm trying to do is actually get them to think the basics of it, like that everything coming from one single source. For example, one episode where we talk about the villains devised a shrink ray where reduce the size of a object, and then it's easier to hide a stolen object, for example. So this evil brainhead came up with a scheme where he can reduce the Planck's constant. This Planck's constant determines the size of atoms as well as the space. So when the Planck's constant was altered with, namely being shrink, then the whole universe is going back to the Big Bang. And we saw that in a kind of in a monocle projection. If we don't prevent that, what would happen? At the same time showing that the whole universe came from a tiny nugget of space, much, much smaller than an atom, and then developed into this whole big, busy universe that we see today, sort of indicating everything coming from one single source. So that's kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to do.
It sounds like a very large, you're trying to do something very big. How is it being received so far?
Well, it's just started airing. 6 shows has been aired so far. And probably, if we get an Emmy, then we'll know whether we have done well or not. We're trying to do focus group and get some idea of how they're receiving. But everybody that I have talked to or who have seen it, they're really impressed with the fact that, not only, as you know, 2D cartoons are pretty much gone. Most of it is the 3D CGI, computer-generated imagery, and the Pixar started. And they're nicer to look at, especially with the HD TV. It's very lifelike, and I think the characters are lovable. If the kid doesn't really fall in love with one of the character through emoting, then he would not want to see the next one. So we have that in mind. So we make sure that the kids fall in love with some of the characters. And for me as a scientist, it was quite a learning process getting into the entertainment business. But my goal was to get the kids really exposed to these wonderful ideas that are telling us, as I said, something about us.
Well, Dr. Bhaumik, I hope you are able to achieve that, and I wish you luck with your new show, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. It really was nice talking to you.
Dr. Manny Bhaumik is a world-renowned physicist and co-inventor of the laser technology that made Lasik surgery possible. He is also the author of the critically acclaimed book Codename God, which is currently a bestseller, and he has received the prestigious Mahatma Gandhi Humanitarian Award for his contributions to science and humanity, and has now created a new animated series which is geared towards inspiring kids' interest in science. You've been listening to the Clinicians Roundtable on ReachMD. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Kaskel, and thank you for listening.
Tune in each hour for the ReachMD feature series, Focus on Medical Education. We thank you for listening to ReachMD XM 157, the channel for medical professionals.
A few years ago, I was thinking about how convenient it would be if physicians had their very own radio channel where they could hear the latest medical news, get information, and get free CME. I'm Dr. David Preskel, founder of ReachMD and a practicing OB-GYN myself. This month, I'm happy to say that ReachMD Channel 157 on XM Satellite Radio is celebrating its very first anniversary. Over the past year, we have heard from thousands of physicians all over the country. These physicians have shared great ideas and the names of medical thought leaders which have become shows featured on ReachMD XM 157. I appreciate your input and your support. By listening to ReachMD and inviting your colleagues to listen, we can ensure medical professionals throughout the country have a channel to deliver the latest medical news, information, and free accreditation. For the last year, we have been broadcasting over XM satellite radio on channel 157. We've recently launched our new website at reachmd.com. You can now listen to a live stream of our channel or use our on-demand feature to select from our library of nearly 3,000 shows. I'm also very excited to tell you that we have just added accredited free CME weekend programs through both ReachMD XM 157 and www.reachmd.com. We'll also be able to provide you a convenient method to earn, track, and retrieve your free accredited CME hours. As we enter our second year, ReachMD continues its commitment to medical professionals nationwide to provide the latest medical news, information, and education. I thank you for listening to ReachMD XM 157 and invite you to visit us at reachmd.com. While you are visiting our new website, we welcome your thoughts and your comments. ReachMD is the channel for medical professionals, online, on demand, and on XM.